just an embarrassing blob of a person. We all get left on red sometimes.
That's so sad. Alright, next story.
I'm fine now, obviously, because I'm like really cute or whatever. The other day I fell out of a chair. I was in the office editing.
So bad. I'm still like traumatized. Like, I will eat cheese sticks. I don't think I've ever been rejected before. I don't put myself out there. If I have ever been rejected, I probably didn't know that I was being rejected because I don't take things seriously. But if you want to be my first rejection, that's okay too. You can just tell me, so at least I'll have a hit.
I don't tell boys I have feelings for them. That's just not my ballpark whatsoever. I refuse to tell them I like them before I know 110% that they like me.
I don't honestly, I've never been rejected, but like, I've never been rejected.
So this is the closest thing I have to being rejected. So I used to be really good friends with this guy, and I started having like a little baby crush on him or whatever. And one night he was hammered and just started sharing all of his feelings. And he was like, Mara, I like you, we should hang out sometime, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my God, what? And then 4 days later, he got himself a girlfriend. So life was great, but that was forever ago. I'm fine now, obviously, because I'm like real cute or whatever. His loss.
So my rejection story isn't like funny, really. It's kind of depressing and sad. But it's okay because I came out on top. But so there's this guy that I liked like all of elementary school. Probably know that I'm talking about you. But I liked him all of elementary school, part of middle school. He also liked me, you know. So I'm thinking, this about to he a white boy, by the way. That's relevant to the story. He a white boy. So you know, I was like, oh my gosh, he likes me. I like him. It's gonna be a thing. Beautiful squirrel babies. It's gonna be amazing. But then my friend asked him, you know, so you like Asha and Asha likes you. So you know, like, what's up? And he was basically like, yeah, I mean, I like her, but I'd never date her because she's black. And I was like, oh, that make a whole lot of sense, but not really though. But it's fine because my melanin skin is popping and I don't care. So, whatever. And I have Jay.
I have a similar story to the one that Aja told about a white boy who didn't want to date me because I was black. But like, I didn't like him anyway, so it was like a random thing. He came up to me, he was like, you know, I'd date you if you weren't black, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I have one class with you. I don't know you.
I wouldn't date you at all.
I was so confused. I was like, all right. He wasn't even cute. Like, anyways.
So rejection. So I like this guy a lot in high school. It's super embarrassing because he knows who he is. But we're friends now. Like, it's chill. Like, we still like hang out sometimes. Anyways, but we were like those friends that like flirt a lot. So we were really good friends, and we would go out to eat together and stuff, and he would like pretend and hold my hand. I was like, oh my gosh, like, he really likes me. And so I texted him one day, and I don't know, we got in a fight or something. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, it's not even about that. Like, you know how I feel about you. He was like, what? And then I was like, oh wow, okay, so this is not what I thought it was. It's fine. So we didn't talk for like a couple weeks, and then we ended up being friends again, but that was really embarrassing, and it was rejection, so that was like a double whammy, because he didn't know that I felt the way I felt. So that was really embarrassing.
When I was a senior, we had like only senior prom, not junior prom, and I asked the junior to my prom, and I thought he liked me, but he didn't at all. And I found out the night before, and then, like, from his friend, he texted me, he was like, by the way, he doesn't even like you, and I was like, what? And then we had this big fight, and then we made up, whatever. But the big part was, at prom, we were all supposed to go to my friend's house after, and he told somebody else that he wasn't coming, but he didn't tell me. And so, I had to find out through all these, like, separate people that he was just gonna ditch me at my own senior prom, and he was a junior. And then his friends, like, made him apologize to me, and he came up to me, he was like, sorry. And I was like, for what? And he was like, whoa. And I was like, because you weren't gonna come over and you didn't have the audacity to even tell me. And he was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, I have no respect for you anymore. And then he just walked away, and that was it. And so, yeah, I don't know, I kind of took charge of it, but I thought he liked me. That's why I asked him to prom. Ugh.
I was at the beach with my family one day, and it was like, I don't know, it was super windy, and the waves were just out of control. It was wild, and so this like huge wave came and like knocked me over. And so I'm just living my life, and I think everything is kosher, everything's Gucci. So I stand up out of the water. My older brother goes, "Your boob is hanging!" Well, now the entire beach knows my boob was hanging out. So thank you.
When I was in 9th grade, I did musicals in high school, and I was part of like drama club, whatever. So I was in theater class, and we were doing like commercials, and you had to like do improv, and someone could tell you like, oh, guess that commercial. So I was the sun drop girl. So I'm over here dropping it like it's hot in the middle of my theater class, and all of a sudden you hear like rip, just like a long rip, and I just like literally I'm in like my twerking position, and I shoot up, and I'm like in front of 20 people, my pants just ripped. And Miss Addison's like, oh my god, Maya, like, why'd you stop? That was so good. And I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I was dating this boy, and he was like my first love. And so he like came over to my house, and we were hanging out. It was super casual. We were sitting on my couch. One thing led to another. We kind of started macking a little bit. And we might have been going at it for like 5 minutes or something. All of a sudden I hear like a doo 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 doo. I looked over, and my mom was just looking dead at me, and I curled into a ball. And I was like, oh, my dad's gonna kill you. Like, people think my dad is in the mafia. Like, he's no joke. So I was like, oh, it was nice knowing you. And then my dad was like, and he was really quiet, and then we got into his driveway, and he was like, you know, if I would have been there, I would have killed you, right? I was like, oh my god. But everything was fine after that. Turned into to be a douchebag,
So, I guess another embarrassing story. This is like, I was like doing like, I guess like little league softball or whatever, and I was like in the outfield because I sucked. I was really bad. And I was just standing there like chilling, and I was like, I gotta go pee, man. But I couldn't go in because like it was the middle of the game, so I was just like holding it. It was like the last inning, and then I was like, God, please, I don't want to pee myself in front of all these people. And then I straight up peed on myself. I was like 10 or 11. It was really embarrassing. So I just stood there. I was like, okay, nobody can see this. Like, I'm wearing dark pants. It's fine. So I like walked in. I like immediately went to my mom. I was like, I peed on myself. Get in the car.
And then my most embarrassing story that I could think of is when I was 14. I got the stomach flu, and I woke up and I had pooped my pants completely. And I was like, what? I'm 14 years old. Yeah, that's a bad one. At least it was like in the privacy of my own home.
My most embarrassing moment was my junior year of high school. We used to get breakfast in the morning at school, and they used to always give chocolate muffins and like the little string cheese sticks as a combination. Not really a breakfast combination, but that's okay, people ate it. And boys started doing this thing where they would just keep them in their pockets or their backpacks, and they would get hot and then like throw them at people. Well, my luck, we had a pet rally that day, and I was down at the bottom of the bleachers taking pictures for yearbook, and I like turn around and like take pictures of the crowd or something, and I knew what was about to happen. All of a sudden I see this wet, warm, moist cheese stick flying like through the air, and I was like, oh my god, I couldn't turn around. It hit me like this and like disintegrated on my face. Cheese stick in my hair, on my body, in my mouth, and I was like, this really did not happen to me. This really did not happen. I was like trying to take pictures. I started crying. I was so embarrassed. My whole class of 2015 saw it happen, and I was just like, this really happened. Like all my friends were like looking around like, who did that? Who did that? Everybody was laughing at me, and I'd never been more embarrassed in my entire life. And I just turned around and just sat down and like cleaned it out of my face and just sat there and cried until the pet rally was over with. I was so embarrassed. I never want to relive that again, y'all. It was so traumatizing. I won't eat cheese sticks. Never found out who it was though, but my boyfriend at the time was gonna fight them, and I said okay. I was like, do it, please.
when I was younger, the same older brother, we had lots of problems. So we were at my grandma's house, and I had on this like play wig. I don't know where I got it from. It was a hot mess, but I thought I was like popping. I thought I was popping. And so we were riding bikes. And he thought it'd just be the funniest thing to ride by. Mind you, there's like a whole bunch of like neighborhood kids around. He rides by and snatches my wig off my head. Y'all, I cried. I literally cried because it was just so traumatic. Like, I really thought I was looking so good in the little Halloween costume wig. And like, I'm riding on my bike, wind just blowing through my weave, and he just came right by, just snatched it off. And he did, he snatched my wig, and I was very upset. I cried. Traumatizing.
I mean, I love to embarrass Aja. That's like my favorite thing. I do remember
Make it easy.
in high school, it was after a football game, and we went to cookout, and like it was a bunch of our friends, and it, like the whole place was packed. And we were acting like hooligans, and we were like throwing ice at each other. And like I think a couple pieces had hit the people behind us. And so by the time we were done, Aja literally got up, left, and walked out and sat in the car until we like all came out and she wanted to go home. I didn't think it was that bad, but she was literally so embarrassed to be around us all the time. I don't know why. Me and Jay love to embarrass Aja. That's like our thing.
In middle school, I had a crush on this guy like all of middle school. So we were going like to recess or free time or outside time or whatever you called it at your school. And I was walking with my friend who also kind of liked him. And I was basically, you know how you are in middle school, just like gushing over nothing. Like, oh my god, yeah, he was looking at me in class. Like, I dropped my pencil and he picked it up. Like, we're basically like in love. So while I'm planning our fall wedding and telling it to my friend, she's just kind of sitting there and just staring at me, and I'm like, honestly, I was low-key feeling myself. I thought I had just put her to shame. I was like, yes, she ain't got nothing to say now. But then I turned around and he was walking behind us, like real close behind us. So I was like, maybe he didn't hear it. But I looked at him and he was just kind of staring at me with this judgmental look on his face. So I was like, nah, he heard me. And it was just embarrassing. And my friend was fake for that. We're not friends no more. Cause that was just real fake of her.
So it was my freshman year of high school, and like not to toot my own horn, but you know how everyone's friends with everybody in like high school, well, ninth grade. So it was my birthday, and we were in the girls' locker room. We just came back from PE class, and we're all in the girls' locker room, like, oh my god, my happy birthday, whatever. And then we look up, and my balloon is just in the like past the lockers in the locker room. So I'm like determined to get my freaking balloon, okay? And it was like after everyone was dressed and stuff, and I was wearing, a dress because I'm trying to look really cute for my birthday, whatever. So I'm climbing on the lockers trying to get my balloon. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden a locker just grabs my dress, and I am not wearing a lot of coverage. So everyone just sees my whole rear, like a good 50 people in the girls' locker room. And I just kind of looked at them, and then I was like, okay, but are we going to get my balloon though? But we got my balloon, so that's all that matters. But like after half my friend Molly was like, oh my god, Mara, are you okay? Like everyone saw your butt. And I was like, yeah, but they're all girls, so I didn't really bother me that much. But